Roll it. Welcome to The Point.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know who I am. You know who he is. Got a little addition here behind me this week to kind of spice things up a little bit, huh? That's right. Yeah. God bless America. Shout out to the Hodge twins. Wink, wink. Check them out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But welcome to another episode, another edition, another great week of The Point. And there's a lot to talk about. I'm not even going to lie, man. But how you been?
Been doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Good deal. Hey, like I always...
What's been going on in the world of Merica?
Man, there's too much to talk about. If I was any better, I would be a Newland. So let's just say Saturday I hit on a scratch off, won $102. Sunday had to drop $300 and then another $180 on my truck. So yeah, you know, good stuff. Early birthday present.
Win some, lose a whole lot more.
Yeah, win some, lose everything. Yeah. Lose everything. But let's go ahead and jump right into this, man. One of the biggest stories, one of the hottest stories going on right now, and I know you heard about this, is Cam Newton. Cam Newton has managed to land a potential spot with a team. And I say potential, we're going to talk about that here in a second. Cam Newton to the Patriots, point or no point?
Definitely a point right there.
Absolutely. So Cam Newton apparently has locked in a $7.5 million contract for 1 year with the New England Patriots. Now, when I say $7.5 million, this, of course, is according to Ian Rappaport, which with ESPN, which, of course, is a pretty reliable source, so I believe what he's saying. But apparently this contract is incentive-laden, meaning he's not getting $7.5 million. Man, we're talking about a guy who's a league MVP 5 years ago. And now he's only worth 7.5 with incentives for 1 year. That says a lot. So how do you think this is going to play out in New England?
I think he's going to do well. You know, New England is usually always right there at the top. I think honestly, I think this is going to be one of the best seasons that he has. He's going to come out trying to prove a point. I was really amazed at the lack of interest in the guy. I don't understand that at all. I'm not a fan of the guy's personality. Let me take that back. I'm not a fan of his flamboyancy, but as far as a PR standpoint, you cannot find a better quarterback to represent your franchise as far as the PR standpoint goes. I have seen this guy strip almost butt-ass naked after practice to make sure that every kid there had a piece of him before he left the practice field.
Yeah, I as everyone knows here, I'm Panthers, man, through and through, balls to bones, or I was. Stay tuned. But anything North Carolina, man, Tar Heels, the Hornets, the Panthers. So obviously I follow the Panthers pretty close. Myself and my daughter, we attend Fan Fest every year. You know, we try to make some preseason games and even regular season games when we can afford it, because we all know it's expensive as shit. Probably not going to be anymore, but nonetheless, you know, I've had the opportunity. I've never met Cam personally, but I've had the opportunity to be close to him and watch him interact with fans. And for those of you who don't know, he does this thing at FanFest every year with the fans, where he gets the wave going, and he gets really excitable, almost kid-like, and it's really fun. It's infectious, and I really like Cam, and I hated to see him go in Carolina. I don't think his best days are behind him. I think he's still kind of getting her done. Me personally, I think Belichick is going to be a good thing for Cam. Now let's clarify something real quick here. Cam Newton is not the starting quarterback for the Patriots. Okay, Cam Newton is in the mix to possibly be that guy, but he's going to have to earn it. And I don't have it in front of me, but he's got a couple other quarterbacks he's going to be battling with to determine just exactly where he ends up. So he may not even make the cut come time for the 52-man roster. So in my opinion, I think Cam and the Patriots, I think this is the right move in his career. And I think he's got 1 year to prove that he still belongs in the NFL. And I think this is a make or break year for Cam Newton. And I wish him all the best. I'm going to watch him. I'm a fan. And, I'm going to support him. Yeah, I hate the Patriots. Everyone knows that. But I'm definitely going to support him and watch him 100%. So moving on, there's a kind of a sidebar to this whole Patriots thing. And we got to talk about it because this is kind of like the protest and the riots and how everybody wants to call it peaceful protesting, even though people are being murdered left and right, and rapes and stabbings and, trespassings and assaults and just violence and shit that's going on in the world. Haystacks, follow me here, man. I'm sure you've heard that the Pats recently, the Patriots, have been fined $1.1 million for yet again, and losing a third-round pick in 2021 draft. Yet again, filming an NFL team's sideline, i.e., or signal calls and stuff during an actual game, and that team being in your neck of the woods, the Cincinnati Bengals. When is it going to be said from the mountaintops by the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, when is it going to be okay to call the Patriots what they are? And that is not America's quote-unquote team that everybody got behind after 9/11 because they called the Patriots in their red, white, and blue. No. When is it going to be okay to call them what they are? And that is simply put, cheaters.
I think it's long past due. And it's kind of unfortunate, man, because Belichick is a good enough coach where you don't have to do that crap.
Or is he?
Or is he?
We'll never know.
It's an interesting situation. How long has this been going on?
Well, I think we both know it's been going on for a long time. I mean, how many times the Tuck rule with Brady? I can go through a laundry list. The Deflategate, the tapings before that they were fined and lost draft picks and stuff like that. At what point is it okay to say, all right, Belichick, Robert Kraft, and the damn rest of the Patriots are nothing but cheaters? I mean, what good is it to be Super Bowl champions when every win you have has an asterisk next to it? I mean, is that the world we live in now? I know we live in cancel culture, and I know we also live in everybody gets a trophy, participation trophy culture. But does it really mean anything to win a Super Bowl if you have to put an asterisk next to it because you recorded the other team's practice or recorded the other team's sideline?
honestly, I mean, we're getting to that point already. We're right now in the middle of discussing having, what was it, a 60 game NBA season.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that here in just a second.
We're getting ready to start talking about having a 60 or 70 game MLB season. You're cutting your season in half and still claiming a champion. We're basically getting to that point to where it's like, well, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We're not going to have a season. We're just going to play a few games, and then everybody gets into the playoffs.
Message. Look, man, it's like this. And we're going to touch on it here in a minute again, because it needs to be talked about, man. It needs to be talked about. But I'll save that for the proper time. We'll get into that here in a little bit, man. But I want to go ahead and moving on to the next topic. And it's a very important topic, very near and dear to my heart. Vince Carter. For those of you who do not know, Vince Carter was a Tar Heel. Second to only Michael Jordan, in my opinion. Jerry Stackhouse will be a close third for my generation. Vince Carter was a beast. He is a beast. And it's a damn shame. It really kind of pisses me off. And, it's kind of sour grapes, I guess, that COVID-19 really put a shit stain on his last year. But unfortunately, Vince Carter has made his retirement official. He's announced his retirement. Excuse me, coronavirus. But I want to send a personal shout out to Vince Carter right now, man. I watched him play in person. I visited the Smith Center, and I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him. Brother, thank you for all the memories, all the great dunks and games and intensity and passion for not only the Tar Heels, but numerous teams in the NBA, as well as our U.S. Olympic team and representing us and this country. God bless you, brother. Enjoy your retirement, and don't go too far, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm one of the few people that was fortunate enough not only to see the Michael Jordan foul line dunk, but to see every single Vince Carter dunk in the freaking world. When Vince Carter dunked a damn basketball, you heard about it. You knew about it. You were locked in on every single move. That guy was, to play through 3 decades, and I believe we were talking about this a few weeks ago. What did we say? 15 teams, I want to say.
A bunch.
He's got to play for almost half the freaking league over a almost 30-year career.
Yeah, the Raptors, the Grizzlies twice, Atlanta. I mean, we can go on and on and on. And here, let's not forget, Vince Carter's a lot like Michael Jordan. Now, he's not Michael Jordan. Everybody calm the hell down. Everyone knows I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan that's ever lived. I'll fight me, bro. But Vince Carter made an impact on every team, even if it was as the quote-unquote sixth man coming off the bench. He made an impact. When you're opposing Vince Carter on an NBA basketball court and you see him walk on court, butts pucker up just a little bit, because even at 42 years old, he would put you on a poster. Now, I'll tell everyone right now watching, I turned 40 in just over a week. And there is no way that I could even dream of pulling off half the stuff he pulls off. So I don't think we've seen the last of Vince Carter. I hope he sticks around in some fashion. doing something similar to what we're doing, obviously at a much higher caliber. And I don't want him to get away. I know he loves basketball, but I'm happy for him. And I just wanted to say that and get it on out there. I'll tag him up and see if he can, he sees it. I'm sure. The thing about Vince Carter that I'll leave it with this before we move on. Is a lot of athletes in this day and time have something negative. There's something negative. Something pops up somewhere, but you haven't heard anything like that about Vince Carter. Because Vince Carter is a truly, not only brilliant, an extremely talented basketball player, he's an extremely intelligent man, a humble man, a nice, genuine human being, and that's rare in this day and time.
Damn Skippy.
So congrats again to Vince Carter, brother. You will be missed. I just watched one of his highlight reel videos yesterday. I think I shared it with you not too long ago or posted it myself. But so the last topic I'll touch on before we take a break is, man, this coronavirus thing, universities are really, I know we talk about professional sports, we talk about sports entertainment, we talk about, and I can go down the list. I mean, everything from NFL to the PGA and everything in between. It has taken a huge hit from ticket sales, merchandise sales, TV deals. I mean, you name it. But the college programs, man, the NCAA Division I, more in particular, not even talking about 2 and 3 and then NJCAA and going down that pipeline, man. People don't really realize, I don't know if they realize, hell, I didn't realize just how big a hit they are taking. Now,
Absolutely.
did you hear about UConn?
I seen something on it briefly, but I didn't really get a chance to go in depth on it.
UConn has cut the men's tennis team, swimming team, diving team, cross country team, and women's rowing programs. Wow. That's one university, man. And we're talking UConn. And if you don't know who UConn is, look them up. They've got one of the biggest best women's basketball programs and men's basketball programs in the damn world. And it's a shame. I mean, it really is. But coronavirus is really kicking the sports world's ass. And more in particular, the pocketbooks and the wallets.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, man. We've seen this start to happen in high schools, too. High schools were struggling to keep funding, and they were cutting programs. And, now we're seeing it at a collegiate level. That's no bueno.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, on a high school level, everything's, either donated or it comes from taxes, right? Or, bills that are passed and, things like that. Elementary schools, middle schools, same thing. But people forget these universities, although they are sometimes state funded and other things, they sell a lot of merchandise and they raise a lot of money. It's like, I don't know how it is in your area, but around here, I mean, you go to any of these local stores such as Dollar General or Family Dollar, there's a UNC section that you can buy anything, babies pacifiers, nail stickers to hats, T-shirts, and door stops and keychains. They make money off this officially licensed memorabilia. So they're taking a big hit. So I hope, I know here in North Carolina, our governor has just extended out phase 2. But I hope and things get back to normal sooner rather than later, because I think the longer this goes on, it's going to have a more of a long lasting effect. It's going to take, when you lose all these programs, you think of how long it took these colleges to implement these programs, and not only implement, but establish them as well versed. And now they're having to cut them. And how long will it be before they get them back? Will they ever get them back? So, with that, if you don't mind, take a quick break. Again, quicker for them than it is for us. Unless you have any other remarks.
Not that I can think of on the subject so far. I'm sure you'll get me on a damn rant later on in this show.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. But again, gray hair, potty break has to happen. Sorry, let nature take its course. See you on the backside of this break.
Join us next week for another action-packed episode of The Point.
Hey everybody, welcome back from the break. Thank you for staying tuned. Haystacks and your boy Ricky B. Without missing a beat, let's just jump right back into it, man. It's something we touched on earlier we were going to talk about. I told you we'd get back to it later. And let's go ahead and hit on it now to start back, the second half of this show, man. We were talking about the NBA and the MLB trying to salvage the season. I think everyone can agree at this point that, yeah, I know you want to have a champion. Yeah, I know you want to not skip a year and you don't want to have that skid mark in the history books. But I do believe that ship has sailed, man. More so for MLB than NBA, but NBA too. I mean, there's an opinion piece out there, and I'll just read a little bit of it here. But I was reading on it the other day, and it literally, the title says, it is time for the NBA to call off the 2019-2020 season. And it had a lot of facts in there. I mean, I don't really need to list off facts other than you can common sense, man. Normally the finals are what, June?
Yep.
And I mean, we're talking about starting the season back at the end of July, having a couple of regular season games, and then going into the playoffs and having this all day, every day thing. And this isn't AAU ball, man. Don't water it down to the point to where it's not fun. Just because you got to have a champion. I think you even mentioned earlier, how's that really fair to anybody? Because you're going to have somebody squeak through and become a champion. That it's good, I guess, in a way, because somebody could squeak through and be a champion where they really didn't have a chance before. They just jailed at the right place, right time. But at the same time, man, it's going to make it 10 times harder for that team the following year. Right. So I think, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to kill it, altogether. But this right here, the opinion piece, I'll just read a little bit. It says, we've hit double digits on the number of players who have already tested positive for coronavirus. And I'm sure you saw, the last I heard was like 18, 20 plus. Upon reporting teams for individual workouts, they found these positive cases, citing a myriad of reasons. Multiple players have opted out of participating in the 22-team restart. They slated to commence the ESPN Wild World Sports Complex on July 30th. COVID-19 cases have exploded in Orlando, Florida, the city surrounding the single-site location. And a number of players are trepidatious about distracting from the ongoing social justice movement with the whole, rioting and, down with every damn thing in the world, and let's just burn the world and watch it fall. There is nothing positive, man. There's nothing positive at all. It's just a terrible idea. And when you're talking about the coronavirus, COVID, which is past, just like the common cold or the flu. And now your grand idea is to pack everyone in this tiny little area, a contact sport, ongoing, all day. Come on, man. Just crumble it up, throw it in the trash, prepare for the next season. Your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And the thing is, they're making a bigger deal out of this than what it really has to be. It's not like we haven't ever had an MLB or an NBA lockout where we haven't had a season and we haven't had a champion before. We've been there, done that. It's old news. They're trying to overinflate this whole thing to act like, oh my God, this is the first time. No, it's not. Anybody that's been a sports fan throughout the 90s knows we've had in Major League Baseball and we've had a National Basketball Association lockout. I believe we've even had one in the Hockey League, too.
And NFL.
It's happened. We've went a season without a champion before. It's okay. The world's not going to crumble because one season we don't have a champion. I promise.
Absolutely.
Basically, all it is people are thinking that they're going to make a dime, and in all reality, it's going to end up costing them a lot more than they're going to make.
True story. We were talking about Cam Newton earlier. I believe his rookie year, which was the last year before the CBA was redone, where he could make, buku money right out the gate. I believe his rookie year was the referee lockout, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had plenty of lockouts. It's just, it's not as big a deal. Now, I know what they're doing. You and I both know what they're doing. Everybody watching this show knows what they're doing. They are protecting the pocketbook. They're protecting their wallets. That's what they're protecting. And they're trying to make as much money as humanly possible. And that's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about the fans. Because I can tell you right here and now, as a basketball fan, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see a watered down, rushed product all day, every day. March Madness, I know it's fun for some people. I can't stand it because I can't watch it all.
Yeah, that, as we've known to do around here, we talk facts, and sometimes people don't like it. But as we just seen in an article that I just sent you, of course, we have the NBA that's wanting to show up so they can push this narrative further along as well. So, yeah, it's all for a greedy cause, and all it is to try to fatten their wallets and cause more division. And that's the last thing that we need right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, NBA, let it go, man. MLB, let it go. All right? We will live to see another day. It's not that big a deal. So, moving right along. Impact Wrestling, big news. Again, cancel culture. We saw it with AEW recently. Sammy Guevara, a 2016 podcast. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. 2016 podcast that he referenced during his time as a developmental in WWE or under the WWE umbrella. He said, and I quote, I'm paraphrasing. I'll take that back. I'm paraphrasing. He said, talking about Sasha Banks, said that he would like to go over there and absolutely rape her. Okay. Now, is that a stupid thing to say? Yes. Do I support that or back that in any way, shape, or form? Hell no. I got a daughter of my own. But 4 years ago, and AEW says, we have zero tolerance. We're suspending him. He had a full-on conversation with Sasha Banks. The woman who plays Sasha Banks, he had a full-on conversation with her. They talked through this. Everything's good. That's kind of like catching your kid sneaking a cookie at 2 o'clock in the morning or lying about his homework, and then 4 years after he graduates high school, grabbing a belt and beating his ass. It doesn't make any sense. You can send out a public Yeah, you could put out a public statement saying he went to counseling, he got treatment, he talked about so and so, but this outrage, man, years later, it's not like the situation wasn't handled and somebody just happened to stumble upon it and he's still acting that way. So with Impact Wrestling, this shit is spreading, man, and I in no way, shape, or form supporting any of these people for what they're accused of. But you've seen this spread. It's even spreading. The liberals, they're starting to eat themselves with the Jimmy Kimmel and the blackface and the N-word. And, he should be called out.
Alyssa Milano just got hit. Ellen DeGeneres just got hit.
Right?
Hey, by the way, for that, good riddance.
Hey, what's good for one is good for all. So, but Impact Wrestling apparently has fired Joey Ryan, Mr. D Flip himself. They fired Dave Christ, and they have suspended Michael Elgin after allegations. Let me read some of this here to you. Impact Wrestling previously said it was looking into allegations after several members of its roster, and now 3 wrestlers are being reprimanded. Both Dave Christ and Joey Ryan are now fired from the promotion as a result. Meanwhile, Elgin is suspended and is being looked into further. Impact Wrestling confirms that it has terminated its contracts with Christ and Ryan effective immediately. The promotion told WrestleZone, in addition, it has suspended Elgin pending further review of the allegations of misconduct. Shortly before deleting his Twitter account, Joey Ryan did release a lengthy statement addressing the allegations against him. He says, and I quote, "After speaking with my attorney, I've been advised not to respond to any specific allegations at this time. And the truth in the matter is I do not want to spend time dissecting which parts of the stories are true, which parts are different from what I remember, and which things are outright false. It's important for me to use this platform to take responsibility and not to attempt to minimize the feelings of anyone that was hurt by me in order to save face. But just so you know, multiple female wrestlers have accused Joey Ryan of sexual assault, including, but not limited to, Sierra Loxton, Mae Young competitor Vanessa Craven, and Corinne Mink, who claimed Ryan groped her in a car after she picked up Ryan in an airport. So there's obviously some truth to this situation. And we talked last week as this things continue to unravel, it seems, in more than one way in the sports and sports entertainment community and world. We talked about the Jim Cornette. We talked about Cornette and his wife and the allegations there from OVW talent. So, I don't know where this ends, but I absolutely applaud Impact Wrestling for taking the stance they're taking. And it certainly seems to be a lot of truth to the Joey Ryan situation. So I will say this though, and then I want to get your opinion on this, because Joey Ryan, the character, is a douchebag. He's a sleazeball. That's the character he plays. So I kind of want to know where this stuff is coming from. The groping in the car and stuff like that. And I'm not making excuses. A lot of these wrestlers live their gimmicks. And I'd be interested to know if he was this way before this gimmick, and things like that. Either way, it's wrong. It shouldn't happen. And he needs to be held accountable. But how do you feel about all this?
I'm on the fence, man. Like, because I look at things objectively, and a lot of what we see in Hollywood and in the professional wrestling business is situations to where these female wrestlers do things to try to get ahead, and then later on down the road, it's, oh, well, the so-and-so. We've seen it pretty clear, and I mean, it's one of those kind of It sucks that it happened, but at the same time, thank God it did. The whole Page incident. What would have happened if 2 or 3 years from now, Page is like, oh, well, what's his name? Maddox. Maddox forced me to do this.
Yeah, Paige.
Well, now it's all online for everybody to see that obviously she was getting around to try to get to the top.
It's kind of hard to argue with.
I mean, and again, and in no way, shape, am I saying don't believe people. But before we start accusing men and women of certain aspects, let's get all the facts out before we start hanging people and putting people in front of the firing squads, because things usually get a little deeper than what the media likes to tell us.
Hey, red, white, tan, black, yellow, or brown, male, female, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, whatever. Due process is something that should be afforded. Let's not forget due process. The facts will come out. The important thing to remember is let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's investigate, suspend whatever you need to do, investigate. When the facts are out there and you have the facts, then you drop the hammer. This whole dropping the hammer before the facts thing is what has gotten ass backwards, not only in the world today, but more in particular sports and sports entertainment community, which of course affects us, which is of course why we're talking about it. But so interesting to say the least. I do, my thoughts are with anybody who's dealt with or felt like they've been abused in any way, shape, or form, because nobody deserves that. But I hope that Ryan and the rest of them that are involved in this type of behavior, all of them, and I don't care who they are, I hope they get help. I hope that they are held accountable. And the best thing that they can possibly do is just be honest about it. That very statement that I read to you from Joey Ryan, if you know what I know and looking into what he's saying, he's pretty much telling you there's truth to the accusation. So, but anyway.
And then that's an interesting thing to where that kind of tells me that for him to do that, to put out that kind of a statement, it kind of tells me that he's not this sleazeball douchebag jerk off behind the scenes. He's an intelligent guy. To be able to put out a statement like that says, hey, I own up. Some of this is correct. Some of this isn't. Some of this is partially correct, but highly overblown.
Right.
That's more than we can say for a lot of people right now in the same situation.
Very true. Very true. I won't dispute that at all. We'll see. The facts will come out. We will see. But this whole thing of being accused and being fired immediately, talking about someone's livelihood, man, that's something we got to get away from until we have the facts. Now, I know more than most. They probably know more than they're telling at this point, which is probably why he was fired. But we don't know that, so we can only speculate. So,
right.
So moving right along, another topic that is a hot button issue this past week. Brett Favre. Brett Favre gets on the show, a podcast, whatever the hell, and makes the comment that Colin Kaepernick, he compared Colin Kaepernick or said something along the lines that he would somehow, Kaepernick would be revered as much or more so in hero fashion as Pat Tillman. I got a problem with that.
Yeah, some of the things that I want to say about Brett Favre right now, I can't say on this show. To keep it simplified, Brett Favre is officially the second biggest piece of shit that's ever came through the National Football League, right behind his hero. Pat Tillman was a man that had the opportunity to be a multi-millionaire professional athlete. I believe he was staring down the barrel of about an $18 million contract. And this man put his dream aside to voluntarily go and fight for this country and was killed for this country. The same country that Brett Favre's hero thinks is so damn terrible and wants to see destroyed. So for that, Brett Favre, you and your hero can kiss my American ass.
Hoorah. Yeah, what I'm starting to be disturbed. Let's go ahead and clear the air right here, okay? Because we need to clear the air. We need to talk about this. We need to say it right here. Do we want equality in this country? Hell yes, we do. Do we want every good person on this planet, black, brown, red, white, whatever the purple, green? Yes. We want them all to be equal. We want them all to be treated with respect and not be, succumb to prejudice of any kind. Men, women, we can go into this. We talk about this forever. But what I'm getting tired of seeing, everyone knows I love everybody. You love me, you're good to me, I got you back. Always will, always have. Everybody knows I married an ethnic woman. I have a biracial child. And I never even cared what race she was. But, and people would call, in this culture, they would call that a qualifier, that a symbol of my guilt and virtue signaling and all that other shit. Simply put, man, look, we're all about people being treated equal and not being prejudiced and everything else. But I'm sick and damn tired of watching American citizens that are athletes, that are multimillionaires, the LeBron James of the world. Don't even get me started on that shit. All these people who think it's okay, like, you play sports for a living. Why should I give two shits what your political opinions are? What have you ever done for the political system in this country? And you see Drew Brees. He comes on. He stands up. He didn't say anything wrong at all. He stands up. The only thing he did wrong was being the color he is. Now, if we're going to talk about it in this damn country, let's talk about it. He stood up for himself. He said what he said. He stood up for his family, his own flesh and blood, his lineage, and then was shamed into publicly apologizing for it. It doesn't get much more despicable and disgusting than that. And then you have Brett Favre, another corn-fed Hall of Famer. I never in a million years saw this coming out of Brett Favre's mouth. And you're going to compare Colin Kaepernick. Is the man done good in his life? I'm sure he's probably helped a little old lady across the street at some point. Yeah, I'm sure, He'd blow his nose into a napkin instead of shooting a snot rocket onto his desk in school or something. There's good in everybody. But this man has blatantly stretched the narrative and disrespected, let me stop. Simply put, Colin Kaepernick and Pat Tillman are not even in the same ballpark.
They're not even in the same damn universe.
Period. Message. It's
if you want to compare a man that died for this country to a man that screams about oppression while he converts to a religion that actually does oppress the people that he says is oppressed, while signing a multi-million-dollar contract with a company that pays people in the Middle East and overseas in Asia 7 cents a day so he can make $100 million a year, you can kiss my ass.
Message. Yeah.
Not sorry.
What blows my mind? There used to be a statement, something we used to say, at least in my circle here, that common sense ain't so common anymore. You can have all the book smarts in the world and still be dumb as shit. And this is a perfect example of it. I'm not talking about Colin Kaepernick. I'm talking about the whole situation. All right. These countries that are making these products for this company that he supports, and you can't go over there and be gay. You can't go over there and be a female and show your face. Hell, up until recently, they couldn't drive. They have no opinions. And these kids and these slave shops wake the hell up, America. Come on. I mean, seriously, man. It's time people in this country grow a set, man. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. My set's standing firm. It's right here. You be good to me, I'll be good to you. It's that simple. But don't you dare compare Colin Kaepernick to Pat Tillman. What has Colin Kaepernick ever sacrificed in his damn life? Nothing. Check his bank account. Show me what he sacrificed. A damn job throwing a football? This man gave his damn life. And Brett Favre, you're a sorry ass for that. Period. And
yeah,
coming off my soapbox.
I don't even know what I was about to say. I'm seriously that pissed off with this entire situation. Morgan Freeman said it best, and he's been called every vulgar name under the sun since, because he said it to another man of his race on a liberal platform. His exact words were, if you want to end racism, stop talking about it.
Message.
If it's not on the news, it loses its power. It's just like a school shooting. You never seen school shootings in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the early to mid 90s. Early to mid 90s, and even after Columbine in 1999 up in 2002, when I drove to school, we drove with our shotguns and racks of our pickup trucks and our vehicles. Right down the street here in Chillicothe and Richmondale, Ohio. Columbine happened, and what happened? You glorified school shootings, and now they run rampant.
Yeah,
you glorified what's his name? Jim Jones. What happened? You had Waco. You had Heaven's Gate. Now you're glorifying this. What's happening?
Yeah,
Say you walk out in public with a red hat on. It could be a Cincinnati Reds hat. Somebody sees a red hat and they have a freaking meltdown, need their damn cry closet, and have a damn panic attack over a red hat because you're too stupid to shut your TV off, to shut your phone off, walk up to a man and say, "Hi, I voted for Barack Obama." "Oh, you voted for Donald Trump." "Well, why is that?" Shake the man's hand and walk away. Tell him to have a good freaking day. Be a damn adult.
Yeah, this country's gotten to the point where this is a generation of people that has grown up not being told, told no, not having their ass whooped, being pandered to and allowed to scream and holler and show their ass anywhere and everywhere and get their way, have everything handed to them on a silver platter, drugs shoved in their mouth to keep them quiet and shut up in zombie-like state because mommy just couldn't even. Daddy's not there. Look at the statistics, man. In this country, our biggest problem is men not present in the family. Fathers not being present in the family of all colors. I say it right here now. It ain't just one. It's all colors. Men in this country have to pull their head out of their ass. And, I'm going to say this. Look, man. I'm not going to sit here and say racism doesn't exist. Okay? There is racism. Absolutely, there is racism. But can we stop manufacturing the shit where it isn't?
Here's a couple fun facts for the day. This big, scary racist problem in America, I believe there's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 100 and some million people in the United States. I could be wrong with that number. I'm not real sure. But I'm sure we're in excess of 100 million by now. The NAACP, who, by the way, is funded by the liberal friends on the left, says right now there are 4,300 members of white supremacy, Ku Klux Klan, and white nationalists in this country. If over 100 million people are afraid of 4,300 idiots, you're the problem.
We've got them outnumbered.
Fun fact number 2. All these issues that are coming up right now, the last state to stop allowing schools to spank kids happened, I believe, yesterday in 1989. I was 4 years old. Odd coincidence? I think not.
No. Hey, how about this? How about instead of burning this, pissing on this, wrapping it around the heads of statues and pulling the statues down? How about just follow me here? How about you actually do something to change this country? Sign up, put a uniform on. Blue uniform, red uniform, white uniform, camouflage uniform, and truly affect change. And quit bitching. Quit making assumptions. Quit being a victim.
I won't even go that far. Since nobody really wanted to take on my colorblind challenge, here's a new challenge that we'll try out. Go in your community. Help talk to your grandparents. Some of you, if you're old enough, talk to your parents. If not, go to the corner store, go to the local coffee shop. There'll be an old man sitting there. Find you an old African American man about, 60, 70, 80 years old. Sit down beside that man, buy him a cup of coffee, and ask him this question: what is racism? And let that man tell you some real stories, some real stories about what racism really is. Let him tell you about being forced and drafted to go to Vietnam, to be wounded 3 times, and then brought back. And when he goes to kiss the ground that he's glad to be back in this country, people spit on that man because he was black. Go ask that man what real racism is all about.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let them sit and stew on that. Again, it's been another great episode. I wish there was brighter news. I do. But this week, it's my turn to drop the point on the Point Nation. And of course, if nothing else, if they haven't listened to anything else for this entire episode, I certainly hope they pay attention to that. Hey,
I'd highly recommend anybody sit down and watch a damn catfish coulee video, or 2 or 3. If you don't want to listen to us, listen to somebody. But for the love of God, give what I said a shot. Seriously. In every coffee shop in America, every time I go down to see my parents down in Chillicothe, Ohio, I can stop at the local Krispy Kreme shop, walk in there. There's a little old man sitting by himself, drinking a cup of coffee, eating a donut. He'd love like hell for somebody to sit down and talk to him, especially about some of the shit that he's seen in his past compared to what's going on today. I would almost guarantee you're going to get your feelings hurt. And then you have nobody to blame but yourself.
yeah, let's fix real racism, not manufactured. And for the love of God, the red, white, and blue, if it's anything other than hanging up where it's supposed to be, not touching the ground, and not on fire, then, well, I pity you. We're a nation of all shapes, sizes, colors, and creeds. It doesn't take that much to be happy and positive in this life. And Lord knows I'm not the best example of that. But I think one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, we can get there. Haystacks, I'm getting ready to drop the point on them. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
You managed to get me all riled up one more time. That was a pretty
Same
good
here.
one. I got pretty pissed off. So anybody watching at home, I wholeheartedly, 100% apologize for absolutely nothing.
And with that message, we're out. Haystacks, next week. Yep, here we are at the end of another great episode of The Point. And it's time for me to drop the point on that ass. As only Ricky B can do. Now, this country is based and founded on very simple principles. I mean, it's a matter of perspective, really. Your upbringing. Everything today is misconstrued by just a syllable or a facial expression or the color of your skin. I really don't think that everyone in this country is truly paying attention to what they're doing and how they're acting. There's a right way and a wrong way to protest. There's a right way and a wrong way to have true discussions. Martin Luther King, he Jr. said it the best. You cannot drive out hate with hate. Only love can do that. Can we just get back to that? I don't think that's asking too much. I think if we can get past being offended by everything there is on the planet to be offended by, maybe we can start to have real discussions. But it's going to take spines. It's going to take huevos of steel. It's going to take community leaders of all colors, shapes, sizes, and creeds to get that done. I'm all in. Haystacks is all in. Are you? Thanks for staying tuned. See you next week.
Thank you for watching The Point.
Goodbye, cruel world.